Look what we are gonna make today in this DIY Wednesday video. We're gonna make the mummy, so I'm excited. Are you excited? It's almost Halloween! Okay, so let's get started on our life-size Halloween mummy. What are you gonna need for this? Well, it looks like a lot, but it's not a lot. Scrap wood, muslin, or like an old sheet that's like tannish-y, beige-y, you know, like mummy cloth in color, foam, batting, whatnot, a skeleton head. This one's really old. I want to get a new one, like his poor little jaw. Plus, because I feel like this isn't really life-size. I'd like a bigger one because, as you saw, I already made this mummy a long time ago. I was taking it apart because it needed to be repaired because it's probably 15 years old. And his head was starting to get a little wobbly. So I was like, oh, I need to redo him. So I might as well do the DIY Wednesday video on how to make him because he's amazing. And I'll tell you, every year when I put him by my front door, all the neighbor kids come to trick or treat, but then they want pictures in front of the mummy. He's kind of a staple at my house now. So he better look good. I've been trying to find a different, like this is just foam or plastic or whatever, skeleton head that's a little bit larger, like, you know, the size of a normal human skeleton head, because I picture that he's like a pharaoh or something. At the Dollar Tree they have them, but they're tinier than this in plastic. I want to say I was looking like the Walgreens, but they're like $10. I know that's not a lot when you're using scrap wood and maybe an old sheet, but anyways, I've got them just in case. So you're gonna want a skeleton head. This is my old foam that I had originally wrapped around the mummy. I'm contemplating getting the twin bed foam mattress pad for, what was it, like $9.99 or something really cheap like that, and using new foam because that foam is pretty bad. But I believe I used 2 yards of muslin. You're also gonna want some wood glue, and I'm gonna use my Porter cable gun today, but you could use regular finishing nails and a hammer, a screw gun. It's gonna be super easy. Like, you're gonna die at how easy this is gonna be, and then you're gonna wanna make a mummy family. That's all I'm saying. So, oh, and if you have 8,000 mosquitoes that like to eat your feet, you're gonna want citronella candles. Hopefully they're gonna work. This is not just for like Halloween seance purposes. This is so I don't get West Nile. So yeah, let's get started. What's first? We need a scrap square of wood. My scrap piece of wood is 9 inches long by about 5.5, 6 inches wide. It's a rectangle piece. I painted the top of it black, and this is how lazy I was. I mean, you think I'm lazy now? This is how lazy I was back in the day. This is literally like the tag that comes on the wood when you buy it. I didn't even take it off, and I painted right over it. Lazy. But anyways, you're gonna need this. This is your base, our base. Now, for the measurements of your mummy, there's no tried and true reason. I honestly wanted him like kind of a little bit taller than me. So you're gonna need 4, this happens to be 1 by 2. Any scrap wood will do. You're gonna need 4 of these for the legs. You probably don't wanna use 2 by 4s just for the sheer heaviness of the final outcome. So 1 by 2s are nice and light, yet sturdy. To get these measurements, I literally measured to my waist. Because I figured these would be the mummy's legs. That's how I got these measurements. My legs are 40 inches long and you need 4 of them. We're gonna put these into our base wood. I'm gonna do a little bit of wood glue, and then I'm gonna from the bottom of my base wood up so that I have 4 legs standing upright. I'm gonna nail them in like straight like this, but I'm actually gonna end up making them a V. Really, we're just building like a crude shape of a body. So if your feet are together, you widen out at like the hip. So I'm gonna have my feet close together, and then I'm gonna widen my legs out like at the hip or the waist. Once you have your scrap wood cut to your waist measurement. We have our little base wood. We're gonna put some wood glue on the top, and then we're gonna use our porter cable, pressure gun situation, or screws, or hammers and a nail. It's not that big of a deal. You just need to get your wood secured to your other wood somehow. Porter cable, not sponsored, is a lovely tool. It makes things fast. You just go, I love it. I'm gonna put some wood glue there, get a leg. I have marks on this wood just because I'm recycling. So I kind of know where to put my feet, but just put your feet in like a square-ish position and yeah, you'll be fine. I mean, this isn't rocket science. We're just slapping some wood together. Hey, what happened? Hey! Okay, so sad news. My porter cable gun started blowing pressure out of the top, which that's not what it's supposed to do. A gasket in there is like crimped or broken and is not creating a good seal. So I took apart my other one to try to switch out the gaskets, but they're both crimped. So, son of a bitch. But that's okay. I said, screw it. I have a whole tub of finishing nails. We'll just hammer and nail this shit in by hand. Good old hammer and nails. I also got out my screw gun just in case I changed my mind and wanted to screw it in. So, wood glue, wood glue, wood glue. Great. Put our little pieces into place. Just like in the olden days, before power tools. Oh, that feels much better. Let's do another one. If I were a hammer, I'd wake up my neighbors. Oh, copyright infringement. Nobody knows that song anyways. Perfect. Now let's get another leg. Wood glue's already in place. Line her on up. This piece of wood has a staple in it, and I didn't even care to take it out. Lazy. Perfect, perfect. Nail me. I'm gonna do 2 nails in each leg. It's so nice to have a pressure gun right now, but what are you gonna do? Oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna friggin' hand hammer and nail everything together. Totally fine. Yay. Okay, 4 legs done. So now that our legs are in, we need to make our V shape. So to get that measurement, I kind of just cut the wood like my hip width. It's very scientific, very scientific. 12 inches. I know I'm not 12 inches across. I'm wider than 12, but you get the gist. So now what we're gonna do to create that V is we're gonna stick our 12-inch board at the very top, wood glue and nail 2 legs and 2 legs. Easy. I'll create that V. Maybe, there we go. So I'm gonna line this up as best as possible. This one, my porter cable would really come in handy about now. Might be easier if I laid it down. Let's try that. Oh yeah, this is gonna be much better. All right, so lay her on down, hammer her in. 1 nail, 2 nails, yay. Before we flip her on over, let's just do our other side. Great. Now let's flip her over and do the other ones. And you know, we're not looking for like award-winning carpentry skills. We're just building like a rudimentary body frame, just so we have something to wrap and make look like a mummy. For Pete's sakes, this is coming out once a year on Halloween. Hammering and nailing makes it so anybody could do it in real life, because I'm sure we all have a hammer and nails. You can get a box of those for pretty cheap. No sweat. Voila. You see what I mean about the V body situation? There we have our hips down to our feet. And our toes are nice and together. Done. What's next? The torso. For the torso, what we need to do is we need to have our torso wood. And what is that? Well, it's whatever scrap wood you have that is kind of wide and can be kind of as long as your torso. I'm telling you, this skeleton is based off real life skeleton. 9 inches wide, and I cut it to the size of my torso, approximately 18 and a half. Both are exactly the same size. This is like his back, and this is his chest. I got 3 little pieces of wood for my dividers. The width is as far apart as my legs are. It's gonna be based on how far you put your little feet apart. For reference, almost 4 inches, not even cut straight. Don't even care. So we've got 2 for the sides, for his ribs, and then 1 for the top where his like shoulders would sit across. I don't know what this is called. Clavicle. We've got a clavicle. I'm going to hammer my pieces into one board and then hammer the other board on top. Wood glue. I'm just picking like, I'm gonna nail this in here, so I'm gonna put this wood about here. Line that on up, get our nails, hammer it in. Perfect. Great. Now, let's get our other one. Wood glue it, flip it. And some of you watching me hammer right now are gonna notice I rarely hold the hammer down at the bottom. I know that's like how you get the most torque and you can nail a nail in one hit. I always choke up on my hammer. I just feel like little taps are best for me. You nail how you nail and hold your hammer how you like to hold your hammer. Those pieces are done, so let's put in our clavicle piece. Trying to get her in the middle as best as possible. Again, not serious if it's not in the middle. All of your frame is going to be covered up by amazing mummy wrap. Perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put wood glue on the tops of all of these and then put this board here, nail that. And then we've got a torso. I'm just gonna finish nailing this up and then we'll hook our torso to our legs. Torso completely done. 2 rectangle pieces of wood and 3 little divider woods. So now we are going to connect our torso to our legs. We are going to lay our little legs down. So our legs are gonna be together so that we can slip our hip bones into our torso, just like that. Just try to line it up as best as possible, and then you're gonna glue right here, and then nail. Then flip it, glue, nail. I think I'm gonna put like 4 or 5 nails in. So I'm just gonna put some wood glue. Kind of make sure your torso's centered over your hips. Okay, let's do it. I'm just sticking a shim in here to hold this top leg so it doesn't droop down while I'm nailing it. Okay, perfect. Now we're ready to nail. Perfect. Let's flip her over and do the other side. Nice bead of glue. Stick my shim back in. Good. All right, let's hammer her in. Yay, torso complete. See, you were questioning it, but it is starting to look like a body. Legs, hips, torso. Now we need shoulders and neck. What do we need for that? Our little scrap wood 1x2. That's the width of our shoulders. For me, that is 18 inches. And then we need our neck. See? This is a scrap piece of wood that literally is broken. I don't even know where this came from. It was just over in the wood pile. But it's as tall as my neck, which is 5.5. So we are going to nail our neck to our shoulder piece before we put it onto our torso. So the middle is 9, so I'm gonna start a nail at 9 inches in the middle, and then we'll glue our neck and then hammer it on in. And I want my neck piece centered in the middle of our board, so I have room on either side. We're gonna use that space to nail our shoulder to our torso. Perfect. Look, neck and shoulders. I am gonna put 2 more nails on either side of that. Perfect. See? Now we have to put our shoulders onto mosquitoes. The citronella must not be working. I think they like it. They're swarming me. Jeez. All right, enough of that. Before we put our shoulders and neck onto our torso, we need to make our arms. because we're gonna be doing some nailing and we don't wanna disrupt anything. We need 4 arm pieces. Your upper arm, your lower arm. So for our upper arm, 12 inches. And for our lower arm, like 8.5 inches. Or you just take a measurement of your upper arm and your lower arm, and voila, you have your measurements. So we're going to glue and hammer our upper arm into our shoulder piece. And you're gonna die when you see what I do next, but it has to be done. There we go. And nail number 2. Okay, we got one arm done. Next one, a little wood glue. All right, yay. That's our down arm. Now we need to do from our elbow up. And we want him to be like, you know, like this. So we're gonna do it in an L, and then you're gonna see how I'm gonna make all this happen. I technically don't need to wood glue it. I didn't need to wood glue this either. I'm gonna fold this up like this. Ugh, okay, one arm. I know, it looks like we're just making a giant box, and we are, kind of. So let's get the other lower arm in, pre-nail. Lower arm number 2. Yay, look, it's like he's like going like this, but we want him to go like this. Clearly 15 years ago, I don't know what I did, but I don't remember it being this. But we're gonna do this. I kind of want to bend his arm up, so I'm pulling the nails kind of out, actually, like that. I also want to bend this shoulder in, because I don't want him to be like that. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna bend this in ever so slightly. See? Now we're gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna pull and bend that. We're gonna have his little hands meeting in the middle. Ooh, that looks good. Gotta be careful, I don't wanna rip my nails out. Now, magic, it stays. Kind of. He's looking good. Now we gotta get this onto that. So here's our shoulders, neck, and arms, and we need to put it onto our torso. If I just set it like this, it's leaning forward. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give it another little twist so that I can, I don't know why I just went around it. I wanna kind of twist this down. Yep, just like that. Let's get him centered. Now I did have plenty of wood glue up there. It's not quite dry, but let's just put some more. 9 and 9, perfect, okay. This is where I'm nervous about nailing, but we're just gonna have to do it. We can't be nervous. I don't know how you nail gently, but we're gonna give it a shot. It's going. I mean, it's in there. Let's try another one. I think I should go more angly. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, perfect. Those shoulders aren't going anywhere. Do I need to do one from the back side? Perfect, yay. All right, shoulders on. Yes. Look at him. See, he is looking good, but we are going to make him look even better with some foam batting or whatever to round off these like harsh corners before we wrap him in his mumminess. So I have all of the foam that I'm recycling from the last time, and it's cut into random pieces, and I do not have a clue what I did. So I'm just gonna grab some foam and like wrap him again. So we left his arms free so we could slide foam up and under so we could wrap his torso. So I'm gonna take this foam piece, slide it up under his arms very carefully. Slide my foam on up. Now I do have Super 77, but I'm also thinking I might want to use my staple gun like in the back and just go chicka chicka. But basically, I'm just gonna try to like round out his harsh features before we wrap him in his mummy foam. And I'm just trying to, you know, so I'm gonna get my staple gun and wrap him. I have my staple gun, my first piece of foam I'm letting trail down over his hip bones. Perfect. I don't even need to use that much. This is gonna be underneath all of our stuff. We're just trying to create a shape and not have such harsh lines. That didn't go in anywhere, Sheri. Am I out of staples? Yeah, I'm out of staples. All right, let's get more staples. I've always said this, even for my stapler at work, I wish there was something, and maybe we all can invent it. I wish there was something in your stapler that lit up when you were on the second to last staple, rather than trying to staple and have there be no staples. Someone invent that, please. He's too tall. Okay, now that we have his torso wrapped up, I'm gonna do his shoulders and maybe his arms. I think these were his arm pieces. Okay, I need some shoulder pieces. See? It's all coming together. Okay, so basically, you get the gist. I'm gonna wrap this puppy in foam and give him some shape, and then we'll wrap him in mummy stuff. All right, his torso is looking pretty good. We've got his arms all padded. We've got nice rounded shoulders. I do want to put some padding like just around the leg area. Then we can start to wrap him. The staple gun is working out pretty good. It's just a bunch of guesswork at this point because you're just wrapping him up. I'm also not putting in a million staples only because our mummy wrap is gonna hold this all in place as well. So no need to go overboard on a million staples. Well, I definitely need to do like his neck. Let's do like a little bit right here. Yay, okay. He's starting to look pretty good. His body is fully padded and ready to be wrapped like a mummy. He's so cute. I love him so much. So now for the exciting part. We are getting our strips of muslin. To get your strips of muslin, you don't have to sit there and like cut. You just are gonna make one little cut and then you're gonna rip it. Make another little cut, rip it, and rip it the length of your 2 yards so that you have a strip that, 4 inches wide by 2 yards long. And you'll have a bunch of those strips when you get done ripping and cutting all of your muslin. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take a strip and you're just gonna wrap a mummy. It's not that hard. I might staple gun my first one in place on the back side, and then I'm just gonna wrap. Starting way down at his feet. There we go. I'm gonna try to keep my strips at their full-on wideness as I wrap around. I'm gonna wrap tight pretty much all the way until I get to his torso because I really want that V shape to show. Barely overlapping my second layer over my first layer, not caring if my muslin is dragging on the ground. He's been buried for a while. We just dug him up for Halloween. I don't want to catch myself on fire, but I feel like I need to have the citronella like right by me at all times. Oh, he's already looking so good. Nearing our end of our first piece. I'm not gonna tack mine down. They didn't have a staple gun back then. I'm just gonna tie a new piece of muslin to the end of this piece. And sometimes if I end on a piece that's in the front of him, I'm gonna tuck into the underneath one. So you'll see little bits of muslin like poking out. So basically you get the gist. I just tucked that one in to the one that was underneath it, and then I'll start my new one like right here, kind of tucked in. So I'm gonna continue wrapping his leg parts, and then we'll do the chest. I've used 3 strips for the bottom, and I'm almost to the hips. But this is what I mean about like I wanna leave one out. So I was coming near the end, and so I just tucked it under so that it's out, you know. I feel like that's how they did it back in the Pharaoh days. But so far, he's looking really good. So, you're looking at the back of the mummy. I wasn't liking where his waist was going. He was having some curves. Mummies don't have curves. It was because I have nothing here. I don't know what I did the last time I made this, but I don't remember this at all. But even Davis came out and was like, you gave our mummy some hips. So, easy fix. 2 pieces of scrap wood. I'm seriously just gonna take this and rest it on my hip and lean it on the crossbeam. I might duct tape it in place but that will give it so it doesn't go in and out so much. And I'm gonna do that on both sides. We're going to duct tape her in place. Doesn't have to be nailed in. It's literally there just so our foam has an angle to rest on. I think this will be fine. Didn't do this last time. Hip bones are duct taped in place. Now I'm gonna just relay my foam, and that will give me a nice, smooth, no indentation. And hopefully when I wrap them again, that looks better. Now with my hip wood in place, you can see much smoother transition. Cross our fingers that that worked. You still feel like you might have hips. Maybe it's a girl pharaoh. Let's crossbody wrap him and see what happens. His waist is looking much better. He's kind of got a barrel chest. But once his hands are up in place, I'm thinking you won't notice that at all. So I do want to wrap his arms before I finish wrapping everything else. He's coming together with his little tiny head. Hi! We gotta get him a bigger head. I have some smaller strips of muslin, and I'm just going to wrap a part of the arm so that it's separate. I'm gonna like bring him up here, make him like, you know, like that. I don't want to wrap them too tight because then I think that they'll get really skinny. That one arm looks good. Let's wrap the other one. Trying to make sure that the thickness of his forearms is the same on each arm. Yay, and that will go there, and this one will go here. We just need to get him a little hands, maybe. Okay, so now I need to fill in like his belly and then his shoulders. And then he should be good to go. Okay, so it's getting pretty dark. It's not late, it's just dark. This is where we are. I didn't technically wrap his head, but I kind of wanted you to get the feel for it. I wrapped his hands. All I did was take a piece of foam and like staple a piece here and then make a U and staple a piece there. And then I just kind of wrapped it up. We're almost done. Tomorrow, I might run and find a bigger skull. He does have a little bit of a waist, but it's not bad. I like him. We'll finish him tomorrow. Okay, the mummy is done. He's right behind me. And just so you know, searched all over. I could not find a skull that was A, cheap enough, and B, the size that I wanted. So I just used the skull that I had. So he's a shrunken head mummy, not a big deal. He looks super great. I didn't show me wrapping his head because duh. You saw me wrap his whole body for like 17 million hours. I just wrapped his head the exact same way. So the little stick that was our neck, I smushed the foam head on, and then I took some wrapping and I wrapped him all up, made sure that no padding or anything like that was showing. I mean, it was really simple. You could figure it out. You're smart. So, are you ready for the reveal? I don't want you to be scared, so be prepared. Because it's mummy reveal time. You're gonna see it as a neighborhood kid would see it. We're gonna walk up my walkway and it's right by my front door. Don't get scared. You're just a little kid trick-or-treating. Oh, don't mind the dead body over there that was dug up. Just a bunch of tombstones. Ah, this house. Oh, there's a spider. Okay. Ah! Oh my God. First we have the beware sign. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it below, but we made that and that is awesome, all from Dollar Tree products. But the star of the show is the mummy. The little coffin that he's in, I made that a long time ago out of plywood. Like I just made a shape. It wasn't hard to figure out, but you don't have to have a coffin. You can just have your mummy standing by your front door. Not a big deal. I just put some spiders up there. I have to do cobwebbing and everything all over my entryway, but there you see him. Oh, and I got those pumpkins today at the grocery store. And his little hands, everything's all wrapped up. I left some of his skull face showing. Who would have thought you can make an amazing life-size mummy with scrap wood and some muslin or sheet? Why are we so amazing? Seriously, dude. Look at how tall he is. Seriously. I'm like, I claim 5'7", but I'm probably like 5'6.5". And look, he's taller than me. This DIY for Halloween was a huge success. I'm super happy that we did it, and the kids are going to be shook. They're not gonna wanna come to the door, I'll tell you that, which could quite possibly save you on some Halloween candy this year. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring the notification bell because it will notify you of all of the DIY videos that I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. And if you enjoyed this video, you should check out the Beware Sign video that we did last DIY Wednesday, because that one we made for like, I don't know what it was, like 11, 12, 13 bucks from all Dollar Tree product. So if you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. Also, share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.